Fratelli, Dio è degno di fede e non permetterà che siate tentati oltre le vostre forze, ma insieme con la tentazione vi darà anche il modo di uscirne per poterla sostenere. Parola di Dio.
Dans la première lettre de Saint Paul aux Corinthiens, Frères, Dieu est fidèle. Il ne permettra pas que vous soyez éprouvés au-delà de vos forces. Mais avec l'épreuve, il donnera le moyen d'en sortir et la force de la supporter. Parole du Seigneur.
A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your strength. But with the temptation will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. The word of the Lord.
Lesung aus dem ersten Brief des Apostels Paulus an die Korinther. Gott ist treu. Er wird nicht zulassen, dass ihr über eure Kraft hinaus versucht werdet. Er wird euch mit der Versuchung auch einen Ausweg schaffen, sodass ihr sie bestehen könnt. Wort des lebendigen Gottes.
Lectura de la primera carta del apóstol San Pablo a los Corintios. Hermanos, Dios es fiel y Él no permitirá que seáis tentados por encima de vuestras fuerzas, sino que con la tentación hará que encontréis también el modo de poder soportarla. Palabra de Dios.
Leitura da primeira carta de São Paulo aos Coríntios. Irmãos, Deus é fiel e não permitirá que sejais tentados acima das vossas forças, mas com a tentação vos dará os meios de sair dela e a força para a suportar. Palavra do Senhor.
من رسالة القديس بولس الرسول الأولى إلى أهل كورنثوس. أيها الإخوة، إن الله أمين فلن يأذن أن تجربوا بما يفوق طاقتكم، بل يؤتيكم مع التجربة وسيلة الخروج منها بالقدرة على تحملها. كلام الرب.
Czytanie z pierwszego listu świętego Pawła Apostoła do Koryntian. Bracia, wierny jest Bóg i nie dozwoli was kusić ponad to, co potraficie znieść, lecz zsyłając pokusę, równocześnie wskaże sposób jej pokonania, abyście mogli przetrwać. Oto Słowo Boże.
Now we prepare to hear the Holy Father in his Italian language catechesis, which is the core of this general audience.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good morning.
Seguiamo nella catechesi sul Padre Nostro.
Let's continue on the series of catecheses on the Our Father prayer. Coming to the second to last invocation, do not lead us into temptation. There's another version, don't let us fall into temptation. The Our Father prayer begins in a serene way. It makes us desire that the great project of God might be fulfilled among us. And then it casts a look on life, and it makes us ask what we need every day, our daily bread. Then the prayer addresses our interpersonal relationships, often polluted by selfishness. And we ask for forgiveness, and we make the effort to give it, to forgive. But with this second to last invocation, our dialogue with the Celestial Father enters, so to speak, into the core of the drama. That is, on the land of the confrontation between our freedom and the dangers of evil. As is known, the original Greek expression contained in the Gospels is difficult to render in an exact way. And all the modern translations limp a little bit. On one element, though, we can all converge in a unanimous way. However you understand the text, we can exclude that it's God who's the protagonist in leading us into temptation, that loom over the path of man, as if God himself is there waiting to tend a trap or these dangers to his children. An interpretation of this kind contrasts most of all with the very text, and it's far from the image of God that Jesus has revealed to us. Let's not forget that this prayer begins with Father, our Father. A father can't betray his children. Christians have nothing to do with an envious God in competition with man who has fun putting them to the test. You hear so many pagan divinities like this. We read in the letter of James, the Apostle James, no one, when he's tempted, may no one say, I've been tempted by God, because God can't be tempted by evil, and he doesn't tempt anyone. If at all, it's the contrary. The Father is not the author of evil. To no child who asks for a fish does he give a serpent. And when evil comes, shows its face in the life of man, he fights at his side so that he may be liberated. In this sense, he's with us and not against us. He's the Father. And it's in this sense that we pray the Our Father. These two moments, the trial and the temptation, have been mysteriously present in the life of Jesus himself. In this experience, the Son of God became completely our brother in a way that touches on scandal, almost. And it's precisely these gospel passages that show us that the invocations, the most difficult invocations of the Our Father prayer, those that are enclosed in the text, have already been fulfilled. God hasn't left us alone, but in Jesus, he shows himself to be God with us up until the extreme consequences. He's with us when he gives his life. He's with us during life. He's with us in joy. He's with us in trials. He's with us in sadness. He's with us in the defeats when we commit sins, but He's always with us because He's the Father. He can't abandon us. If we're tempted to do evil, negating fraternity with others and desiring an absolute power over everything and everyone, Jesus has already combated for us against this temptation. The first pages of the Gospels attest to this. Right after having received baptism from John, in the midst of a crowd of sinners, Jesus retires to the desert, and He's tempted by Satan. It starts in this way, the public life of Jesus, with the temptation that comes from Satan. He was present there. So many people who say, why do you speak about the devil? It's an ancient thing, it doesn't exist. But look at what the Gospel teaches. Jesus confronted Himself with the devil. He was tempted by Satan. But Jesus rejects every temptation. The Gospel, and Jesus comes out victorious. The Gospel of Matthew has an interesting note that closes the duel between Jesus and the enemy. The devil left Him, and then the angels came and served Him. But also in the time of trial, the Supreme God doesn't leave us alone. When Jesus retires to pray in Gethsemane, His heart is invaded by unspeakable anguishes. That's what it says. And He experiences solitude and abandonment. He's alone with the responsibility of all the sins of the world on His shoulders. Alone. An anguish, unspeakable anguish. The trial is so lacerating that something unexpected happens. Jesus never begs love for Himself. And in that night, he still feels his soul to be sad up into death. And so He asks for the closest of His friends. He says, stay here and keep awake with me. As we know, the disciples who were weighed down by a torpor caused by fear fall asleep. In the time of agony, God asks man not to abandon Him, and man sleeps. In the time when man knows his trials, on the other hand, God stays awake. In those most difficult moments where we suffer the most anguishing moments, He stays awake with us. He fights with us. He's always with us. Why? Because He's a Father. That's how we started the prayer, Our Father. And Father never abandons His children. That night of pain of Jesus, of fight, are the last seal of the Incarnation. God comes down to find us in our abysses, in our travails that mark history. He's our comfort in the hour of trial, knowing that valley from when Jesus crossed it is no longer desolate, but blessed by the presence of the Son of God. He will never abandon us. Keep from us, then, O God, the times of trial and temptation. But when they will come for us, when this time will come for us, our Father, show us that we're not alone. You're a Father. Show us that Christ has already taken upon Himself also the weight of the cross. Show us that Jesus calls us to take it up with Him, abandoning ourselves, trusting in the love of the Father. Thank you. And after that catechesis in the Italian language, now we'll move on to the different languages that the general audience is offered in, beginning with the French language and then moving on through English and German, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, and Polish. EWTN channels have a vast reach across the world. This obviously transmission going out in English, but when we get to the different languages that EWTN is represented in, which is most of those languages mentioned, we allow just for anyone listening along to listen in, especially because this transmission goes out also on our social media. We've got a broad variety of Facebook platforms that are within the EWTN and EWTN News Group, and we're so happy to be able to bring this audience to expand the square beyond the physical confines of the colonnade of St. Peter's and on into the entire world, making it really a general audience in the sense of universal, making it available to anybody who's listening and watching. And we invite you to do the same, to invite friends, family, strangers to see this, to watch this. And there's one way you can do that very practically, Ben, and that's actually sharing it on your social media accounts. How can people do that?
So for all of you who are watching right now on Facebook, the easiest way is to just click the share button, and it will go to your entire friend group, to the entire audience that you have, your potential reach, which is extraordinary. Right now on our English pages, we actually have 476 people watching directly with all of us just on social, from places as far away as Fiji, Western Australia, South Africa, Liverpool. So for all of you watching, please know that you are part of this incredible global community, and you're able to connect with us, to write us questions, to share prayer requests. And so please, join us and share this with your audience.
And if you think that the Holy Father's message here, speaking about the Our Father as he has done across these last several months, if you think that there's something about the message that could be important to someone, share it with them. I mean, it's there. It remains throughout time, as far as we know, Ben, the fact that after the audience is over, you can still go back and check it out, and people can go and see precisely the parts that may be most effective for them, right? Just the parts in English or the main catechesis in Italian. So we invite you to do that, and also to share along on our Facebook pages. EWTN Vatican is the one that Benjamin manages from here in Rome. So we invite you to reach out to us if you'd like, ask any questions. Know that we celebrate a weekly Mass in St. Peter's when it's possible for you and your intentions. So go ahead and share those, and we're more than happy to read them and pray for them. Here the French summary, finishing up here. The Holy Father is going to greet the French-speaking pilgrims. It says, I'm happy to greet pilgrims from France and from other French-speaking countries, in particular those from Troyes, members of the chaplaincy of Mons of France, and those of Foyer de Charité, just as the young people from Carcassonne, Laval, Montpellier, and Paris. In the hour of trial and temptation, let the Lord show you His presence and help you to abandon yourselves, trusting in the love of the Father. God bless you.
Vous saluant en italien, le Saint-Père vient de dire « Je suis heureux de saluer les pèlerins venus de France et d'autres pays francophones, en particulier les pèlerins de Troyes, les membres de l'aumônerie Mons de France et ceux des foyers de charité, ainsi que les jeunes venus de Carcassonne, Laval, Montpellier, Paris. À l'heure de l'épreuve et de la tentation, que le Seigneur nous manifeste sa présence et qu'il nous aide à nous abandonner confiants dans l'amour du Père. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking visitors and pilgrims present today wish to express to you their sentiments of respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as the successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. The words are found on the back of your ticket. The Holy Father will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he willingly extends to the members of your families at home. His Holiness also intends to bless any religious articles you may have brought for this purpose, and in a special way, his blessing goes to all children and young people, the elderly and the sick, and those recently married. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's words this morning. Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the Our Father, we now consider the penultimate invocation, lead us not into temptation. Here, our dialogue with God enters into the drama of the battle between our freedom and the snares of the evil one. It is not easy to accurately capture the exact meaning of the original Greek, but we can certainly say that God does not seek to put temptations in our way. Both tribulation and temptation, moreover, are mysteriously present even in the life of Jesus, and this experience makes him completely our brother. In the desert and in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus overcomes any temptation to abandon the Father's will. When we in turn are tempted, we know that we are not alone, for Christ has already taken on himself the weight of our cross, calling us to carry it with him and to entrust ourselves to the Father's faithful love.
Saluto I pellegrini di lingua inglese presenti all'udienza odierna, specialmente quelli provenienti da Inghilterra, Scozia, Danimarca, Finlandia, Camerun, Giappone, India, Indonesia, Canada e Stati Uniti d'America. Nella gioia del Cristo risorto invoco su di voi e sulle vostre famiglie l'amore misericordioso di Dio nostro Padre. Il Signore vi benedica.
I greet the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, especially those from England, Scotland, Denmark, Finland, Cameroon, Japan, India, Indonesia, Canada, and the United States of America. In the joy of the risen Christ, I invoke upon you and your families the loving mercy of God our Father. May the Lord bless you all.
So here we move on from the English to the German catechesis, summary and greetings from the Holy Father. We'll just listen in and we'll greet our listeners and viewers by way of EWTN's German outfits, EWTN Germany, and also CNA Deutsch, who is a sister agency to Catholic News Agency.
Dem Nachfolger des heiligen Petrus, durch die Teilnahme an dieser Audienz aufrichtige Verbundenheit, Dankbarkeit und Verehrung. Sie versichern sie zugleich ihres besonderen Gebetsgedenkens für ihren apostolischen Dienst als Hirte der universalen Kirche. Zum Schluss dieser Audienz singen wir gemeinsam das Vaterunser in lateinischer Sprache. Der Text befindet sich auf der Rückseite der Einlasskarten. Danach wird der Heilige Vater allen Anwesenden den apostolischen Segen erteilen. Gern schließt er darin ihre Angehörigen ein, besonders die Kranken und die Kinder. Zugleich segnet er auch die Rosenkränze und die übrigen Andachtsgegenstände, die Sie dafür mitgebracht haben. Es folgt nun eine Zusammenfassung der Katechese des Heiligen Vaters in deutscher Sprache. Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, in unseren Katechesen über das Vaterunser sind wir bei der vorletzten Bitte angelangt: und führe uns nicht in Versuchung. Mit dieser Anrufung geht unser Dialog mit dem himmlischen Vater auf das Spannungsfeld zwischen unserer Freiheit und den Nachstellungen des Teufels ein. Die Aussage des griechischen Urtexts kann in den modernen Übersetzungen nur schwer in all seinen Facetten wiedergegeben werden. Eines ist jedoch klar: Gott ist niemals der Urheber der Versuchungen, denen der Mensch in seinem Leben begegnet. Vielmehr steht er uns im Kampf zur Seite, damit wir davon befreit werden. Die Prüfung und die Versuchung finden wir auch im Leben Jesu wieder. Unmittelbar nach der Taufe durch Johannes zieht sich Jesus in die Wüste zurück und wird vom Satan in Versuchung geführt. Aber der Herr weist jede Versuchung zurück und geht siegreich daraus hervor. Und in seiner Todesangst in Gethsemane erfährt der Herr auf unaussprechliche Weise die Einsamkeit und die Verlassenheit. In Situationen der Prüfung ist es tröstlich zu wissen, dass Jesus dieses Tal der Tränen bereits durchschritten hat und es mit seiner gnadenreichen Gegenwart erfüllt. Der Herr verlässt uns nie.
Saluto cordialmente i pellegrini di lingua tedesca, in particolare il gruppo dei diaconi permanenti della
The Holy Father
diocesi di
cordially greets the pilgrims of the German language, in particular groups of deacons, permanent deacons from the Diocese of Augsburg, accompanied by Auxiliary Bishop Florian Wörner. Let's keep ourselves always united in the risen Lord, says the Holy Father, who is won over sin and death, and with the help of His grace, be able also us to overcome every temptation and trial, and so grow in His love.
Bleiben wir immer mit dem auferstandenen Herrn vereint, dem Sieger über Sünde und Tod, damit auch wir mit der Hilfe seiner Gnade jede Versuchung und Prüfung überwinden und so in seiner Liebe wachsen können.
Now we move on to the Spanish language catechesis and invite you to follow along on our Irawitin Vaticano page in the Spanish language, also Así Prensa, Irawitin in Espanol. We're broadcasting on Church Pop in Espanol as well. We invite you to engage with us there and also to listen in as the Spanish language catechesis summary is given by the Holy Father himself in his native Spanish language.
De toda la Iglesia. Al final de la audiencia se cantará el Padre Nuestro en latín, cuyo texto se encuentra en el billete de entrada. Después, el Santo Padre impartirá a todos los presentes la bendición apostólica que extiende complacido a sus familiares, especialmente a los niños y a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren. Bendice también los rosarios y objetos de devoción que los peregrinos llevan consigo.
Queridos hermanas y hermanos, hoy reflexionamos sobre la penúltima invocación de la oración del Padre Nuestro, que dice: no nos dejes caer en la tentación. Esta petición se encuentra en el centro del drama entre nuestra libertad y las insidias del maligno. Es una frase difícil de traducir en las lenguas modernas, pero está claro que Dios no es el que nos tienta, como si Él fuera el que busca hacernos caer en el momento de la prueba. De hecho, Jesús nos revela que Dios se pone junto a nosotros en la lucha contra el mal, y por eso nos enseña a pedirle que nos ayude a evitarlo y a superarlo. También Jesús vivió momentos de prueba y tentación, pero supo vencerlos. Se impuso al demonio durante las tentaciones en el desierto, y cuando experimentó la desolación más absoluta en el huerto de Getsemaní, dio testimonio de que confiaba en su Padre Dios. En aquel instante previo a su pasión, cuando sentía un gran abandono, pidió a sus discípulos que velasen y orasen con Él, pero ellos no fueron capaces de hacerlo. Sin embargo, cuando nosotros somos probados y tentados por el maligno, Él vela y está junto a nosotros. De este modo sabemos que no estamos solos en el momento de la prueba y la dificultad, sino que estamos recorriendo junto a Jesús el camino que Él bendijo con su presencia salvadora. Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua española venidos de España y de Latinoamérica. En modo particular, a los sacerdotes de la diócesis de Cartagena, acompañado por su obispo, Monseñor José Manuel Lorca Planes. Pidamos al Señor que aleje de nosotros todo tipo de tentación y que sepamos percibir su presencia a nuestro lado en todo momento de nuestra vida. Dios siempre nos acompaña y hace más ligero el peso de nuestra cruz. Que el Señor los bendiga.
Holy Father says, let's ask the Lord that He keep from us every type of temptation, and that we may know how to perceive His presence at our side in every moment of our lives. God always accompanies us, and He makes the weight of the cross lighter for us. May the Lord bless you. Now we'll hear the Portuguese language summary of the catechesis, and gives us a chance to greet all of our viewers by way of ASI Digital, our Portuguese language edition.
No final da audiência, cantaremos o Pai Nosso em latim, cujo texto se encontra nas costas do bilhete de entrada. Depois o Santo Padre concederá a todos os presentes a bênção apostólica, extensiva aos seus familiares, especialmente aos doentes e às crianças. Abençoará igualmente todas as lembranças e objetos religiosos que os peregrinos tenham consigo. Leio agora um resumo da catequese que o Papa Francisco acaba de propor. A penúltima invocação do Pai Nosso, não nos deixeis cair em tentação, entra no terreno do confronto entre a nossa liberdade e as ciladas do maligno. Nós sabemos que o Pai do Céu combate ao nosso lado, para não sussurrarmos na prova e na tentação. Estes dois momentos aparecem misteriosamente presentes na vida do próprio Jesus. As tentações ao início da sua vida pública e no final desta, a prova bem explícita na agonia do Jardim das Oliveiras. São precisamente estes textos evangélicos que nos mostram como o Pai do Céu atende a referida invocação. Não nos deixa sozinhos, mas em Jesus manifesta-se como Deus conosco até às consequências extremas. Na prova do Getsemane acontece algo de inesperado. Jesus, que nunca mendigara amor para si mesmo, naquela noite sente a sua alma invadida por uma tristeza de morte e pede a proximidade dos seus discípulos. Ficai aqui e vigiai comigo. Eles, porém, adormeceram. Na hora da agonia, Deus pede ao homem para não o abandonar, mas o homem adormece. Ao contrário, na hora em que o homem experimenta a prova, Deus vela. Aquela noite de sofrimento e luta constitui o extremo sinal da encarnação. Deus desce para nos encontrar nos nossos abismos e dores de parto que constelam a história. O nosso conforto na hora da prova é saber que este vale de lágrimas, desde quando Jesus o atravessou, já não é pura desolação, mas está abençoado pela presença do Filho de Deus. Ele nunca nos abandona. Por isso, na hora da prova e da tentação, abandonemo-nos confiantes ao amor do Pai. Agora, o Santo Padre saúda em italiano os peregrinos de língua portuguesa.
Cari pellegrini di lingua portoghese.
Holy Father says, "Dear pilgrims of the Portuguese language, in particular those from the diocese of Caratinga and the parishes of Almada and San Pedro da Cova, welcome. The resurrection of Christ has opened up the way beyond death. We have a free road, a road freed up into heaven. Nothing can impede you from living and growing in friendship with the Celestial Father and of bearing witness to all, to His kindness and mercy. On all of you and on your families, may His blessing abundantly descend on you."
Amados peregrinos de língua portuguesa, em particular os da Diocese de Caratinga e das paróquias de Almada e de São Pedro da Cova, sede bem-vindos. A ressurreição de Cristo abriu a estrada para além da morte. Temos a estrada desimpedida até ao céu. Que nada vos impeça de viver e crescer na amizade do Pai Celeste e testemunhar a todos a sua bondade e misericórdia. Sobre vós e vossas famílias desça abundante a sua bênção.
So that was the Portuguese language catechesis and greeting, and now we move on to the Arabic. Ben, this gives us a chance just to touch base real quick, and again remind people that this general audience can be shared to the ends of the earth. We're able to reach through the many people that our Facebook accounts reach right now through our followers. So many, but people can really be activated, can participate in the sharing of the Holy Father's catechesis, a message, on a week-to-week basis. How can they do that?
So the easiest way is to just follow us on our Facebook pages. So as we said, we're on the EWTN Vatican Facebook page. We also have Twitter. We're on Instagram. And I have found in the work that we've done in social media that it's the most efficient and effective way to build these communities online, to share the Pope's message, and to really, I mean, if you're interested and you want to know what's going on in the Vatican, please reach out to us. It's, the first time that media is really two ways. Today, for example, for this general audience, we've been getting lots and lots of prayer requests from the faithful in Sri Lanka. So this is just to say a quick hello, a quick shout out to two of our followers, Anna Nimashi, who's saying, please pray for us. She's from Sri Lanka. We also have Sunil Peters from Sri Lanka, who are asking for prayer requests. For all of you who are watching on traditional, on television or on radio, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please, keep them in your hearts. We have followers from the Philippines, from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from New Zealand, Malta, Cyprus. Even Ignacio Chipiku is saying hello from Freiburg, Bayern, Germany. So anyway, it's a really, finally a world without boundaries, a world without walls, where you can all reach out to us. And I mean, Alan, for me, this has been one of the most extraordinary aspects of it, is to be in contact with our audience.
We really feel like we're part of a community, and that we're able to facilitate this community. It really means a lot to us and to our mission. That's why EWTN exists, is to share the magisterium of the popes, to really share the gospel message. And you also participate in that, collaborate in that when you share these broadcasts. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
Yeah, so please just, with your thumbs, if you have a cell phone out there, give us a like, share this, be a part of this mission. And as Alan was saying earlier, now the St. Peter's Square is no longer limited by any geography or any topography. It's, it's truly online. And so this has been one of the extraordinary things for us. I mean, just to give you guys kind of I'm just looking here at our Catholic News Agency Facebook page, and we've been broadcasting for about 40 minutes. We have 221 shares just on this page, 583 comments. We have 319 people watching, and this is just on our English broadcast. We have a similar broadcast in Spanish that's going through, Church Papa Español, Achiprensa España, and so forth. So I think these are opportunities for us to really begin to build this community.
And today, just a reminder for anybody who's just joining us right now or in just the recent past, the Holy Father gave a catechesis on the Our Father prayer, speaking about the specific line, "Lead us not into temptation." You're saying that God never will set a trap for us, but He will always be with us when we do fall and when we are led through the trials of life and are tempted to do wrong, to do evil. And He said, know that God is our Father, and just as the prayer begins, our Father, and God will always be with us. The Holy Father greeting the Arabic-speaking pilgrims at the general audience. He says, "Dear brothers and sisters, remember always that in the time of trial, Supreme God never leaves us alone. He always watches over us, and He comes down to find us in our abysses, in our travails that mark our history. May God bless you." Now we're going to move on to the Polish language catechesis, and we have IWTN Polska, which is broadcasting this live. See some flags out there in the square. Those red and white flags are from Poland, and we'll just let him go ahead and speak to our Polish language viewers.
Najserdeczniejsze wyrazy czci i oddania oraz zapewnić o swej gorącej modlitwie we wszystkich intencjach związanych z apostolską posługą następcy Piotra. Na zakończenie audiencji zaśpiewamy wspólnie modlitwę Ojcze Nasz po łacinie. Jej tekst znajduje się na odwrocie karty wstępu na audiencję. Następnie Ojciec Święty udzieli apostolskiego błogosławieństwa wszystkim nam tu obecnym, obejmując nim również nasze rodziny, dzieci, młodzież, a szczególnie osoby dotknięte cierpieniem. Pobłogosławi też różańce i dewocjonalia, jakie pielgrzymi przynieśli ze sobą. Streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Drodzy bracia i siostry, kontynuując katechezę na temat modlitwy Ojcze Nasz, rozważamy dzisiaj wezwanie: nie dopuść, abyśmy ulegli pokusie. Należy pamiętać, że to nie Bóg jest tym, który zastawia na nas w życiu pułapki, wystawia na pokusy. List świętego Jakuba Apostoła przypomina, że kto doznaje pokusy, niech nie mówi, że Bóg go kusi. Bóg bowiem ani nie podlega pokusie ku złemu, ani też nikogo nie kusi. On nie jest sprawcą zła. W chwilach najcięższej próby, gdy zło usiłuje zdobyć przystęp do człowieka, Bóg jest tym, który wspiera każdego, walczy u jego boku. Pan Jezus także był kuszony na pustyni. Pokazał nam wówczas, jak należy odrzucać pokusy szatana. Warto o tym pamiętać, kiedy wołamy: nie wódź nas na pokuszenie. W Getsemani, w obliczu niewypowiedzianej trwogi przed śmiercią, Syn Boży prosił swoich przyjaciół, by Go nie opuszczali. Zostańcie tu i czuwajcie ze mną. Wiemy, że uczniowie, znużeni snem, nie potrafili czuwać, zasnęli. Bóg przeciwnie, w chwilach naszych zmagań ze złem jest obecny przy nas, czuwa i umacnia nas. Oczekuje jednak, byśmy prosili Go o pomoc. Pamiętajmy o tym w chwilach naszych trudnych prób, doświadczeń, pokus. Obecnie Ojciec Święty pozdrowi nas, Polaków, w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente I pellegrini polacchi.
I cordially greet the Polish pilgrims. A big cheer, there's some big groups. The Holy Father says there's so many Poles out there in the square today. Welcome. The liturgical memory of St. Joseph the Worker introduces us to the month of May, dedicated to Mary. Entrust yourselves to the Mother of God during the traditional religious functions dedicated to her, your personal situations, family situations, and those who are close to you. Pray for the Church, for your motherland, and for peace in the world. May Mary, Queen of Poland, whose solemnity will be celebrated the day after tomorrow, sustain and guide you. May Jesus Christ be praised.
Oto słowa Ojca Świętego. Witam serdecznie pielgrzymów polskich. Dzisiaj na placu Świętego Piotra jest obecnych wielu Polaków. Witam serdecznie. Liturgiczne wspomnienie świętego Józefa, rzemieślnika, wprowadza nas w maryjny miesiąc maj. Podczas tradycyjnych nabożeństw majowych zawierzajcie Matce Bożej sprawy osobiste, rodzinne waszych bliskich. Módlcie się za Kościół, Ojczyznę, o pokój w świecie. Niech Maryja, Królowa Polski, której uroczystość przypada pojutrze, wspiera was i prowadzi. Niech będzie pochwalony Jezus Chrystus.
Santo Padre, i pellegrini di lingua italiana presenti a questa udienza
Now,
vi esprimono.
we're hearing the final greetings in the Italian language before we conclude this general audience for the week.
Le preghiere al Signore per tutte le intenzioni del vostro universale ministero apostolico.
Pledging prayers for the intentions of the Holy Father and for his ministry as Pope. And at the end of this general audience, we'll be praying together the Our Father prayer in the Latin language. After the prayer, the Holy Father will impart to all those present his apostolic blessing, which extends to all of those dear to you, in a special way to children, the sick, and also to those who suffer. And also bless your religious objects, in particular rosaries that you've brought with you. Today is the 5th centenary, the 500th anniversary of the canonization of St. Francis de Paul, founder of the Order of the Minims, patron of Calabria, which is an Italian region, and of the Italian people of the sea. I exhort you to I'd like to exhort his spiritual children and all of those who have him as a patron to put in practice his message of continual conversion, which speaks to us today of the unconditional love towards God, your brothers, and creation. Also remember that next Sunday in Italy, the day for the university, the Catholic University of the Sacred Heart will be celebrated. May this institution continue to always better its services in the formation of young people and a constant dialogue between faith and the questions of the contemporary world. Holy Father greets all of the pilgrims of the Italian language. He says he's glad to welcome the brothers of the Christian schools and also Capuchin friars to this audience. He's greeting parishes and also people from Acilia, Caserta, Andria, and Altino, a scouting group from Pontinia, which you may have seen at the very beginning of this audience. They actually were riding with him in the Pope Mobile, and also a Christian social organization from Ticino. A particular thought goes to young people, to the elderly, to the sick, and also to newlyweds. There are some courageous ones out there. Today we celebrate the memory of Saint Joseph the Worker, the figure of the humble worker of Nazareth. May it orient us always towards Christ. May sustain the sacrifice of those who work for good and intercede for all those who've lost their work and aren't able to find it. Those who don't have work, it's a tragedy in these times.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da peccatoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentatione, sed libera nos a malo.
Domine vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Et sus in seculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit celum et terra.
Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
This is the Pope finishing the general audience with his apostolic blessing after the Our Father prayer, dedicating his message today to the line, "Do not lead us into temptation," from the Our Father. We're nearing the end of this series of catecheses on the Our Father prayer. He said to always turn to the Father and know that He doesn't ever abandon us. Really a message that he's been repeating over these last couple of months, that he's been focusing on the Our Father prayer. So we want to just say thank you for joining us here for this weekly general audience. I'll say a special thank you to Benjamin Crockett, who joins me in the studio here in the EWTN Vatican Bureau. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Alan.
Also to Massimiliano Valenti, who takes care of the technical aspects, and Desmond Davis, Wesley Fitzpatrick, and Tom Callender, working from Birmingham, Alabama today. Thank you all. And we're looking forward to being with you again next week, bringing this general audience to you.